Hey, it's me, Renee. I'm back, and today I have a eurovisionathon speed up update for you guys. So eurovisionathon has been going on for like 3 weeks now. Time flies. I've read books, but most of them haven't really worked for eurovisionathon. Sadly, well, I suppose I have read some books by English authors and whatnot, but I feel like the entry for the UK is not gonna be the difficultest, the most difficult to do. So I'm not really gonna focus on yeah, have focus on that one yet. And I mean, you can still read other books during Eurovision that just isn't for Eurovision. I mean, that time. So yeah. I have actually finished though so far 3 books for Eurovision. I have two of them here, and then the third I already returned to the library. And sadly, all of these three are meh books. So the first one is this Bokhallen ved bredden av Themsen by Frida Skybakk. This is a Swedish author. It's set in the UK, but it's Swedish author, so I decided I'm gonna, and also they talk about Sweden and whatnot, so I'm gonna use this for Sweden. So it's all about Charlotte who inherits her aunt's aunt's bookstore in London, and she's like, "I'm inheriting a bookstore, okay." And she turns out she doesn't really know her aunt. She comes over. She tries to sell the bookstore, and she ends up keeping it. And I mean, I suppose that's a cool idea for a book. I mean, I love books, and I love books about books. But like Charlotte herself doesn't love to read at all. And it's just like, why do you have a character who doesn't like to read who inherits a bookstore? Why? That's just annoying and wrong. And no, don't do that, authors. Don't do that. It's no fun at all. And like, I feel that also in a way that this book kind of is marketed a bit wrong because it like seems a bit cheesy and nice. And then the back it says like it's all about these customers, the people working there. But honestly, like there's a lot of characters here, but I don't really feel like I connect to any of them. And there's also dual timelines. There's the present, but there's also their past when Charlotte's aunt and her mom lived together in London, and like what happened then. And like the thing in the past is kind of, I suppose, much more dark and dreary, and also like slightly mystery based. But the present is very da 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 da, very cheery, and it's just such an odd mix of those two. And I don't mind books that have both dark parts, dramatic parts, but also fun parts. That's good. But you need to mix them in a good way. And here it didn't work. The mix it did not work. I actually read another book by this author as well last year, exactly a year ago. Well, I read it in last April, and right now I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'm not touching another book by this author again. No, no, that's not happening. And I suppose in a way, still, like none of the books or none of the ones I've read are awful, but they're all of them are kind of marketed wrong, and they're also like they're not that good. Like they have potential, but they're not that good. And yeah, I don't have time for mediocre books. I don't. And then the book that I already returned to the library is a book that's accidentally kind of similar to this one, but that was called Under the Stars in Paris, which is all about a woman from Sweden inheriting a cafe in Paris. So it's in Paris and not London, but it's kind of the same thing where you inherit something. And she's also like, I don't really want a cafe. She likes she likes to be like a big career woman and whatnot. And then after a while, she decides, okay, I want to keep the cafe. There's love stories, there's things happening in the past, whatnot. Again, I like the idea, but the execution, it's like that. Here's there's no two timelines here. It's just kind of they talk about the past. But honestly, again, I don't care that much about the characters. And with a character-based book, it's like you should write your characters better. It's just a lot of like there's a slight exactly interesting, but it wasn't that interesting anyway. It was just like, I suppose you could ask yourself, or ask me, why did you not DNF it? Well, because it wasn't awful. It was interesting enough to make me continue to read. And it was also like not a long book. It was quickly fast paced. But yeah, again, also this book, it was a debut book, and it has a lot of um what's the word again? A lot of good praise. So I had high expectations for the book. And like, this book isn't that cool. Like, people talk about how when you read this book you want to go to Paris and whatnot. And like, in the book they don't really go around Paris that much. They mostly stay in the same cafe. And it's like, yeah, 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 yeah. And then lastly, I read The Hitman's Guide for House Cleaning by Hallgrímur Helgason. So, I mean, this has a English original title, so I'm assuming maybe the original, maybe the guy, because I mean, he has an Icelandic name. So suppose maybe he lives in US, but he's Icelandic. I don't know. Anywho, this book is all about a Croatian hitman who, through such circumstances, ends up in Iceland very early in the book. And in the very beginning, it's a very cool book. I like how it's kind of absurd, humorous, good. Honestly, after a while, I just end up skimming a lot of it. Again, I suppose I didn't DNF it. And that's actually kind of mostly because the beginning of the book I slightly enjoyed, and then the last of the book I skimmed. But I thought I'm just gonna finish it because it's not awful. The one made me what made me not like this book at all so much was that after a while, the main character, which is a hitman, every time he saw a woman, he thought, "Ha! Do I want to have sex with her? Is she sexy?" He looked at people all the time to like think, "Are they sexy?" He had a wife, well, not a wife. He had a girlfriend back in England in the US, but he still fantasized about other women all the time. He found a new girlfriend over there before and it's like, what is you know not not here for it at all. I just yeah yeah yeah. The guy, he was just so, honestly, I would say a bit masochistic, and no, no, no. I mean, I've read it, so I've finished Sweden, so I've read three countries, but yeah. I did read some books last week that I hoped would work, but turned out that a lot of because there's some books with like different countries in one book, but they were more like people around the whole world, so they didn't really have lots to do with Europe. But yeah, and then next, so yeah, this is what I have read. So up next, I did start Mask and Shadow by Stephanie Burgess. This place takes place in Vienna, but there's also, it looks to be like a cast of characters with little people from all over Europe. So I feel like I could probably use this for a lot of different countries. I have read Stephanie Burgess before, so I do know that she's a good writer. So yeah, I'm very much hoping that this will make turn my luck around. I also have Döden och pingvinen, The Death in the Penguin by Andrew Kurokov, which is a Ukrainian author. He wrote lots of books before. Now, well, he still writes books, but he wrote lots of fiction before, and now he writes more non-fiction. But yeah, this is one of his books, and excited to get to that one. And then we have the seven secrets of the seven smallest countries, states in Europe. So I'm thinking I might use this one for Malta or San Marino, because yeah, or maybe honestly think maybe San Marino, because I think I actually have another book I could use for Malta. Yeah, I do have that. Don't know where that went off, but yeah, I never have another book for it. So yeah, those three, and then yeah, as usual, I have other options that I might go to. But yeah, I'm just gonna end with you right there. So you see that I have been reading, and my experiences with Eurovisionathon so far has been Yeah. Also, it's kind of funny. This book has the Eurovisionathon embedded into the plot, so that's I suppose that's kind of also why what maybe not DNF it because I thought, cool, it mentions Eurovisionathon. Yeah, so it kind of takes place over a year. So in the beginning it's Eurovisionathon, and the end is Eurovisionathon, and that's fun. But yeah, I wouldn't really recommend this book. Honestly, I wouldn't. Even if you like absurd, weird books, no. This absurd and this weird, and there's people just being awful human beings. And some people might like reading about those, but I don't. So yeah. I hope you're having a good reading month time, whatever. And if you're doing your Eurovision, have you read any good books? And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.